Imagine Cristiano Ronaldo, the football legend, dressed not for a match, but for something even more personal. Meeting a girl for marriage.
What would he say?
How would he talk?
How would he show his mindset, his values, and his charm? Just like he plays on the field, but now in the game of love.
Let's step inside his mind and see what Cristiano would say when he meets someone special. I have always believed that success, in any form, comes from attention to detail, discipline, and a clear vision. On the football field, every pass, every shot, every training session matters.
Off the field, life is no different. Today, as I prepare to meet someone special, I remind myself that love is not just a feeling.
It is a commitment, a project, and a journey. And like any important journey, it requires the right foundations. Walking into the hall, I feel the weight of this moment. Not as pressure, but as an opportunity.
Meeting someone to share my life with is not something I take lightly. I have achieved a lot in my career. Trophies, awards, records. But I know that no achievement can replace the value of a meaningful relationship.
Success in football taught me patience, perseverance, and strategy.
I intend to bring the same mindset here.
I see her. She is confident, poised, and carries herself with elegance.
There is a spark in her eyes that draws attention, but what I look for goes beyond appearances. Beauty is temporary. Character lasts.
I remind myself of the principles that have guided me through my career: integrity, discipline, ambition, and respect. These are the qualities I now seek in someone I could potentially spend my life with. As I approach her, I make sure my body language is calm, confident, yet approachable. A smile, a genuine greeting, and a simple question to start a conversation. I speak in a tone that reflects my intentions. Hello, I'm Cristiano. It's a pleasure to meet you. Tell me about yourself, about your dreams, about the things that truly inspire you. Her eyes light up as she begins to speak. I listen carefully, not only to her words, but to her energy, her passion, her perspective. In football, I always paid attention to subtle cues, how a teammate anticipates a move, how an opponent reacts under pressure.
In life and love, it's no different.
How a person expresses herself, how she thinks, and how she values her time and energy tells me more than any words ever could. As she talks about her interests, travel, learning new skills, giving back to her community, I feel a sense of alignment.
This is a person who values growth, who understands the importance of effort and self-improvement.
I reflect silently. These are the qualities that build a lasting connection.
Someone who grows individually will grow with me, not just beside me. I decide to share a little of my own philosophy, because a relationship is about mutual understanding and shared vision. I say softly, "You know, in my career, I've learned that talent alone is never enough. Discipline, hard work, and the right mindset are what create lasting success."
I believe the same applies to life outside the field.
If you invest in your values and your character, everything else, happiness, respect, love, follows naturally. She nods thoughtfully, and I can sense her openness. It is rare to find someone who truly understands the depth behind these words.
I continue. Life presents challenges, and not every moment is easy. But I've learned that the right approach, consistency, and focus can turn difficulties into opportunities.
I see relationships in the same way. Every day is an investment, every action matters, and patience is key. Then I decide to be a little more candid, to let her see the man behind the achievements.
I've achieved many things, but I've also learned that no trophy, no award, and no recognition can replace the joy of building something meaningful with the right person. That's why I'm careful.
I want someone whose presence inspires me, challenges me, and compliments me. Love, like success, is a choice, and it must be nurtured deliberately. I watch her reaction carefully. There is a spark of understanding in her eyes, a sign that she comprehends the essence of what I am saying.
This is the moment where impressions matter. Not just what I say, but how I make her feel.
Confidence is not arrogance.
It is assurance, clarity, and respect for both myself and the other person.
To lighten the atmosphere and show a human side, I add with a small smile. Of course, life is also about joy and laughter.
We can't take everything too seriously. But even in fun, I notice values. How someone treats others, how she handles challenges, how she maintains balance.
These are all signs that a relationship can be strong and lasting. As our conversation progresses, I observe not only her words, but her demeanor, her body language, and her energy.
This is how I have approached football my entire life. Every move, every decision, every choice is strategic and thoughtful. Love deserves the same level of care. I reflect silently. The right person is not just someone I admire. It's someone whose values, vision, and energy align with mine. Together, we can build a partnership that grows stronger over time. I take a moment to share one final thought. I believe that life is about balance, hard work and passion,
discipline and joy, giving and receiving.
A relationship thrives when both people bring their best selves, respect each other's dreams, and support one another through challenges. That's what I seek, and that's what I hope to find in someone I can truly call my partner. She smiles, and I feel a sense of hope. Hope, not just for the moment, but for the potential of a life built together, where mutual respect, shared values, and dedication create a foundation that nothing can shake. I remind myself, love, like success, is not a coincidence. It is intentional. It requires effort, awareness, and courage. And when you invest in the right person, the result can be extraordinary. As I conclude our meeting, I feel gratitude. Gratitude for the opportunity to meet someone with the potential to be a true partner, for the chance to practice patience and discernment, and for the understanding that life's greatest achievements are not only trophies, but also relationships built on respect, vision, and love. And as I leave the hall, I carry with me a clear lesson that I hope everyone watching can take to heart. Success in life, in career and in love, comes from the same principles: discipline, careful choice, respect for values, and unwavering dedication. Love, like football, is a journey, and those who approach it with intention, focus, and integrity are the ones who create lasting, meaningful partnerships. As we continue talking, the conversation becomes more personal. She looks at me with a hint of hesitation and says softly, "Cristiano, I want to be with someone like you, but honestly,
I don't work as much as you do.
I'm not sure if I can keep up." Her words are honest, and I appreciate that. I smile gently and say, "Listen, it's not about working exactly like I do.
It's about adopting a mindset, a habit, a principle that will guide you through life with the person you love." I pause for a moment, looking into her eyes, because this is important.
I continue. "You see, in my career, discipline became my best friend. Every choice I made, every hour I invested, every sacrifice I accepted, it all added up.
Love is no different.
If you want to build a life together, you must adopt certain habits, certain values, and certain principles.
Not to compete, but to grow together." Her expression softens, but I can tell she's still unsure.
I lean slightly closer, and with a calm confidence I say, "Whenever you live your life with someone, especially someone who dreams big, you must carry your own strength.
You don't have to do everything I do, but you must commit to your personal growth, to showing respect, to being patient, to learning, and to giving your best self every day.
That is what keeps a relationship strong." I see her listening carefully, and I continue in my own motivational way. Think of it this way. Life together is like building a championship-winning team.
If one player doesn't bring effort, focus, and discipline, the team can't succeed.
It's not about overworking or burning yourself out. It's about forming habits that create consistency, reliability, and trust.
These are far more important than just doing a lot of work. I pause, smile warmly, and say, "So, you don't need to match me hour by hour, day by day.
But you must embrace this mindset. Whenever you spend your life with me, or with anyone you love, adopt the habit of giving your best, staying true to your values, and being ready to grow. That is what matters.
That is what ensures success in a relationship, just as it ensures success in life." I can see a spark of understanding in her eyes.
A realization that it's not about competition, but about commitment, growth, and shared vision. I add softly, "Remember this. Love is not about keeping score. It's about building a life where both people lift each other, inspire each other, and create something lasting together. Adopt this habit, and you will find that no matter what challenges come, your relationship will have a foundation strong enough to endure anything." Her shoulders relax, and I feel the connection deepen.
I know she understands now, not just my words, but the philosophy behind them.
I smile inside, because this is exactly why I approach life this way. Clarity, discipline, and principle guide not only success, but also meaningful love. I conclude with a gentle but firm reminder. Whenever you live your life with someone, carry this mindset. Make it your habit, your default.
Respect, growth, effort, patience, these are your pillars.
The more you practice them, the stronger your life together will be. Success in love, like success in football or business, comes to those who are intentional, disciplined, and committed. At that moment, I realized that this conversation is more than just an introduction. It is a lesson, a philosophy, and a promise.
If we both embrace these principles, we can create a life together that is not only loving, but purposeful, meaningful, and strong.
And I say to myself quietly, this is exactly why I never rush things.
The right foundation, the right habits, and the right mindset. These are what make any relationship unstoppable. This is how I will approach love, the same way I approach success. She smiles, reassured, and I feel a quiet confidence. This is more than a meeting.
It's a step toward building something lasting. And just like in my career, the results will come to those who are patient, focused, and intentional. I leave the last thought hanging in my mind, feeling the connection we've built so far. She smiles, reassured, and I'm confident that she understands the mindset I live by. Discipline, focus, and intentional effort. But then, she looks at me with a soft concern in her eyes, the kind that makes you stop and really listen.
She says, Cristiano,
you're always so busy with your sport, your training, your matches.
How would you ever have time for me?
How could we even manage a life together? I take a deep breath. I expected this question. It's natural. Anyone who knows my life would wonder the same thing.
But I also know that love, like success, is about strategy, commitment, and proper planning.
I smile gently and say, I understand. And that is exactly why I appreciate your honesty. Let's talk about this openly, like we would analyze a match, a challenge, or an opportunity on the field. I lean forward slightly, trying to convey the seriousness and sincerity behind my words.
You see, I continue, life, love, and football have a lot in common. On the field, I have limited time. Every second counts. But even in the middle of a high-pressure match, I make space for the people and moments that matter most. Relationships are the same. You make time, you prioritize,
and you tackle the challenges together. I notice her curiosity spark, and I add a little more, trying to explain it with an example she can feel. Imagine a match where the opponent is strong. The pressure is high, and the clock is ticking.
If I focus only on myself, only on the ball, I will fail. But if I observe, anticipate, and strategize, I can tackle the challenge, pass the ball to the right teammate, and score. A relationship is exactly like that.
It's not about how busy I am, it's about how we approach it as a team, together. Her eyes widen slightly, and I see her start to understand.
So I continue. I won't lie.
My career demands a lot. There are days when training consumes every hour, days when matches and travel take me far from home. But in every great team, in every great partnership, success isn't just about effort. It's about presence. And presence is not measured by hours alone. It's measured by attention, focus, and intention. She nods, though I can still sense her concern lingering. So, I take a deep breath and use the metaphor that I know she will remember. Think of me like a player in a crucial match. I can't be everywhere at once.
But the moment I see an opening, I tackle, I pass, I protect what matters.
In a relationship, it's the same. I will make time for you, not by luck or chance, but intentionally. I will tackle obstacles, prioritize moments, and make sure you feel valued every day. That is my commitment. Her expression softens, but I can see she's still processing the depth of my words. I smile inside, because this is why I never rush things. I want her to truly understand the mindset I bring into everything, whether it's football, life, or love. I continue in my motivational, first-person tone. Life is busy for everyone, even for those who don't have the demands of sport or fame. The key is not finding endless free time. It's about how you use the time you have.
Love, like success, is about efficiency, intention, and presence. It's about showing up mentally, emotionally, and physically whenever it counts.
That is how you win the game, on and off the field. I pause for a moment, letting the weight of my words settle. Then I add softly, almost as if speaking to myself as much as to her. And here's something important. Just like in football, you can't win a match by yourself.
You need teamwork.
You need mutual understanding, support, and trust. So when I commit to you, I am committing not just to be present physically, but to tackle life's challenges together. We will plan, we will prioritize, and we will respect each other's dreams and time. I see a slight smile forming on her lips, and I know she's starting to feel the sincerity behind my philosophy. But I don't stop there. I want her to feel inspired, motivated, and confident that this is more than just words. It's a way of life. Every relationship, I say, leaning back slightly, has its own schedule, its own challenges. The important thing is not how many hours you spend together, but how much value you bring to the hours you share.
If you bring focus, respect, care, and growth, those moments become unforgettable, meaningful, and impactful. I see her eyes lighting up, a sign that she's connecting the dots.
I continue. Imagine our life together as a championship match. We will face obstacles, time, distance, responsibilities, but we will tackle them as a team.
I will protect our partnership, anticipate challenges, and make the decisions that keep our relationship strong.
And in return, I ask for your commitment to grow, to support, and to embrace this mindset alongside me. That's how you create a relationship that lasts. She finally speaks, a little more confidently this time. I think I understand now. It's not about doing everything like you, Cristiano.
It's about adopting this approach, this mindset, and being intentional every day, right?
I nod, smiling, feeling a quiet satisfaction. Exactly, I say.
Life, love, and success all follow the same rules.
Discipline, focus, teamwork, respect, and presence. These are what create results that last. When you adopt these habits, even the busiest schedule cannot stop you from building something meaningful.
That is how I will approach our life together. I pause, letting her absorb the lesson, then add with a warm smile. And just like in football,
there will be times when we need to defend, times when we need to attack, and times when we simply need to control the game. Life together is the same. Challenges will come, but with the right mindset, patience, and commitment, we will succeed together. She smiles fully now, and I feel a deep sense of hope. I know that these conversations, this sharing of philosophy, mindset, and values, are more important than any superficial moments.
This is how a partnership is built, intentionally, thoughtfully, and with purpose. I think to myself, this is why I never rush.
The right foundation, the right habits, the right mindset, these are what make any relationship unstoppable. Love, like success, is earned through effort, focus, and intentional presence. And together, we will tackle everything life throws at us, side by side. As I conclude, I realize that this is more than a meeting. It's a blueprint for a meaningful partnership.
Love, like a championship, requires strategy, dedication, and heart.
And when both people adopt the right mindset, the results are extraordinary. I leave her with one final thought, my voice calm but firm. Always remember this. Love, like success, isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about approaching life with intention, tackling challenges as a team, and prioritizing what truly matters. If we both commit to this, no obstacle, no matter how big, can stop us from building a life full of joy, growth, and fulfillment. And in that moment, I know that the foundation has been laid,
not just for a meeting, not just for a conversation, but for something that could become meaningful, enduring, and truly exceptional. Just as I was about to let the weight of our last conversation settle, she looks at me with a mixture of curiosity and concern.
Her voice is soft but firm, carrying both honesty and vulnerability.
She says, "Cristiano, what if I ever get upset?
What if I'm angry or frustrated?
Will you try to calm me down, or will you stay in your attitude, your pride, your way?"
Because I know so many people admire you, and someone like me.
I might feel small in comparison. Her words make me pause because this is real.
This is honesty, and honesty is the foundation of any lasting relationship. I nod slowly, meeting her eyes, because I want her to understand that my perspective on life and love isn't just about achievements or charm. It's about respect, patience, and growth. I take a deep breath and say, "Listen, I understand exactly what you're feeling, and I want you to know something important. I don't approach love with ego, attitude, or pride. I approach it with discipline, care, and intention.
My goal is not to dominate or control, but to build, protect, and grow something meaningful together. She looks at me, still unsure, so I continue, my voice calm and steady.
You see, life has taught me that the most valuable relationships are not the easiest ones. The strongest partnerships are forged through understanding, patience, and mutual respect. When someone I care about is upset, my first instinct is never to assert dominance or act out of ego. My instinct is to understand, listen, and approach the situation thoughtfully.
Just like on the field, reacting with uncontrolled emotion rarely leads to success. I lean slightly forward, feeling the weight of the lesson I want her to take in. Imagine a match where the pressure is high. The opponent is aggressive.
Every second counts. If I let my ego take over, I will make mistakes. I will lose control, and the team will suffer.
But if I stay disciplined, observe, and act strategically, I can tackle the challenge, support my teammates, and turn the situation into an opportunity.
Love works the same way. When you are upset, it's my job to listen, understand, and navigate the moment carefully, so we both grow stronger. She looks at me, slowly beginning to grasp the analogy. I continue, giving her the motivation I want her to feel. Not just about me, but about herself and relationships in general. It's not about being perfect. It's not about always knowing the right thing to say or do. It's about principles, mindset, and intention. If I have these, I can handle any disagreement, any frustration, any moment of tension. And more importantly, I can make you feel safe, valued, and understood, even when emotions are high. Her eyes soften a little, but I know she's still concerned about the attitude part. So I address it directly. Attitude, pride, ego. These are not traits I bring into love. Those belong on the field during a match when competition requires assertiveness. Off the field, in life and in relationships, I bring respect, patience, and clarity. I approach every challenge with the mindset that this is not a battle to win. It's a partnership to nurture. And if someone I love is upset, I see it as an opportunity to grow together, not a threat to my status or identity. She takes a moment to process, and I let the silence speak for a moment. Then I continue in a softer, more intimate tone. Think about it this way. Relationships, like life, are full of challenges. Sometimes you will be frustrated, and sometimes I might be stressed. But if we both commit to patience, understanding, and communication, no challenge can break us. I want you to know that I will always tackle difficulties with care, not with ego. Your feelings will always matter more than my pride, and your happiness will always be my priority. She finally looks at me with a slight smile, and I feel the connection deepen. But I don't stop there. I want her to understand the bigger picture, the philosophy behind my approach, because love is more than moments of joy. It's about building a life that lasts. I have been admired by many, I say. And yes, some people might try to compete for attention. But admiration does not replace connection. Love is not a popularity contest. It's a commitment. The right mindset, the right habits, and the right respect create something far more valuable than fleeting attention. When someone trusts me, I honor that trust with every action, every word, and every moment I can give. Her eyes are steady now, and I can feel she's listening, really listening. I add a little motivational note, as I often do when I reflect on my career and life lessons. Life is full of tests. Football tested my discipline, my patience, and my resilience. Relationships will test your kindness, your understanding, and your willingness to grow together. If you approach love with discipline, respect, and commitment, you will never lose. And I promise you, when you see someone with these principles, their actions will always match their words. That is the difference between fleeting admiration and lasting partnership. She tilts her head, and I smile inside. I know she feels more confident now, but I want to leave her with a principle she can carry with her forever. Whenever you feel uncertain about someone's attitude, their commitment, or their care, look for principles. Observe their mindset, their habits, their reactions and challenges. Because life, like football, is full of unpredictable moments. The person who remains consistent, patient, and thoughtful, no matter what, will always be the one worth building a life with. That is how I approach everything, and that is how I will approach us. I pause, letting the words settle. Then I add, softly but firmly, love is not about winning arguments or proving a point. It's about building something stronger than momentary emotion. When you are upset,
I will not retreat, and I will not act out of pride. I will approach the situation thoughtfully, tackle the challenges with care, and ensure that we both emerge stronger.
That is my promise, not because I have to, but because I choose to every day. Her expression changes now, from worry to understanding, from doubt to trust. I see the spark of reassurance, and I know that she now sees the depth of my philosophy, not just my words. I continue, wanting to leave her inspired. Remember this always: life will test you and love will challenge you. But if you carry the right habits, the right mindset, and the right principles, you will never feel small. You will feel valued, protected, and empowered. And I promise, when you are upset, I will be there, patient, focused, and committed to building us, not ego, not pride, not attitude. She smiles fully now, and I feel a deep sense of hope and connection. I know this is the moment where understanding transforms into trust. I reflect quietly inside. This is why I never rush love. Just like my career, relationships need strategy, patience, and principle. Those who embrace this will succeed, not by chance,
but by design. And so I leave the moment with one final thought.
My voice calm, steady, and motivating. Love, like success, requires intentional effort. You don't need to compete, you don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to be anyone other than yourself.
But you do need patience, respect, discipline, and a willingness to tackle challenges together. Adopt this mindset, and you will not only survive disagreements, you will grow stronger, wiser, and closer than ever before. That is how love becomes unstoppable, just like true success. At that moment, I realized that this conversation, this exchange of honesty, vulnerability, and principles, is more than an introduction. It is a blueprint for a meaningful, lasting partnership. And I know deep inside that if we both adopt these habits and mindset, nothing can shake us. I leave her with a quiet confidence in my heart. And I know she leaves with a reassurance, inspiration,
and understanding that will guide our connection forward. If you enjoyed seeing how I approach love with the same discipline and mindset as my football career, remember this: success in life, in your career,
and in relationships comes from respect, patience, and giving your best every day.
Don't rush.
Build a strong foundation, tackle challenges together, and always stay true to yourself.
Subscribe now to follow more stories that inspire, motivate, and show life lessons from my journey. Inspired by Cristiano Ronaldo's mindset. Not affiliated with him or his team. Like, subscribe, stay motivated.